Given the way the game ended and the fact that you perhaps felt you should have won it with the chance that you had very late on, does that mean you can take momentum from it into a Tuesday night game, whereas if you were on the other side of that, you would have been picking people up and having to turn them round in a short space of time?
Good point, possibly. But it's funny, isn't it, how the emotions go. So, the Charlton game, I came off a lot more pleased than I did on Saturday. I was relieved Saturday more than anything. But the Charlton game, we deserved to win the game against Charlton. Did we deserve to win that game on Saturday? When I look back at it, we probably didn't deserve to lose it because of the chances we made in the second half. But they were dominant for big periods in the first half, and then they had a 10-minute spell in the second half. And that came down to them killing the game, which was good management by them. But they've only had 5 shots at our goal, and we've had 8 shots at their goal. So we've just got to tighten up in defence. Conceded a couple of really poor goals that we'll look back at and think, we could have done better. You're always trying to improve. People think that we're playing 1 up front. Well, we're playing 3 up front. And I don't think you can fault us for our attacking prowess in the first 4 games of the season. We've had plenty of attempts on goal in all the games. And we're making chances. So if you make chances, you just got to try and take a higher proportion of them than what you already do and keep them out the other end. It seems quite simple, really. We've got to answer your question properly, we've got to build on the momentum of going forward and still concentrate on trying to tighten up at the back.
Is it as simple as if you attack more and spend more time in the opposition's half, you won't have to defend as much?
Yeah, pretty much. And we had spells in the first half and we had balls flash across the box, poor deliveries really. But we didn't have sustained pressure in the first half like we did in the second half. And maybe that's kicking towards the Clayton end. I don't know. We did have a little bit of a breeze in the second half, which I didn't really notice in the first half till later on when some of the clearances were drifting back towards us. And I think that helped them pin us in and it probably helped us pin them in. But we can't be going through games where you're only playing for half a game. We can't just say to the ref, can we kick against into the Clayton end both halves? You can't do that. And we've played magnificent football going that way. So, it's not all about that. We've got to improve. We've got to be a bit more flexible in our approach, and I think that's something that we will be keeping hammering on to these players.
Forest Green next, come into the division this season. From your experience, what is it like, that step from League 2 to League 1?
It's ever changing, I think, now. I think when we made the step, I think it was a lot more physical. I think there's more teams trying to play now. There's bigger names in the league than there was probably when we made that transition. But bigger names, they can only go so far, only take so far the name of a football club. And plenty have struggled to get our list with big names. So, but I've watched them play and they've impressed me. They impressed me last season. And it'll be a tough game. I'll say this every week, but every game you play is going to be tough in this league. But it'll be tough for different reasons, and they'll pose different challenges that we're going to have to overcome.
And is that why you have to perhaps be more flexible, what you're saying, in games, and be able to play differently?
We have to be flexible, but you've got to adapt quicker to what's happening on the pitch. Now, we can do that on the sideline. We can do tweaks with the system. We can make substitutions. But ultimately, when you've only got 4 or 5 seconds to adjust your position, you've got to do it off your own bat. And the senior players have got to come to the fore. Okay, Starting on Saturday, we had a relatively young team, but still players who played a lot of football. So, yeah, it's something that we'll talk about and we'll address.
How are you looking injury-wise? I know Liam Coyle went off at the weekend.
Liam wasn't too bad, just a precaution really, and everybody else, no, okay.
Michael Nottingham, I think, is waiting for a verdict, isn't he, on whether he's going to need an operation or whether he'll be able to...
Find out today, so fingers crossed on that. Toes crossed, ears crossed, if he can.
Everything you've got crossed.